Ever catch something in a Doctor Who episode and think, hold on, was that always there?
Like those little details that make you go back and rewatch just to be sure.
Exactly. And today's deep dive is all about those sneaky little details, the ones that add layers to an already amazing show.
It's remarkable how much thought goes into every aspect of Doctor Who's production. Even with all the action, the details are carefully considered.
You've uncovered some really cool examples. For instance, Dalek graffiti.
Oh,
Seriously.
absolutely.
And not just when the Daleks are around. We're talking World War I scenes.
Yeah.
Tagged up. It's like finding a spray can in King Tut's tomb. What's the deal with that?
It's a subtle but potent reminder that the Daleks' influence stretches far beyond their physical presence. Their ambition leaves its mark on history itself, even when we don't see them.
It all starts with those mannequins in rows. A nod to how the Daleks see us, maybe.
Precisely. They're laying the groundwork for how the Daleks view humanity with a chilling indifference. And speaking of foreshadowing, how about that stair lift in Last Christmas?
Oh man, Clara's stair lift on a rewatch. That one really hit me. Missed it the first time.
That's the beauty of it, though. It's such a simple thing, a stair lift. But it operates on a symbolic level.
You're blowing my mind right now.
It's not just about helping someone up the stairs, you see. It represents Claire's future.
Wow. I never thought about it like that.
Her journey into old age, which she's grappling with throughout the episode. But notice how in her dream, the stairlift is gone.
Oh, wow. You're right.
It's a subtle visual cue, contrasting her youthful present with the passage of time.
Okay, costume design fans, this one's for you. John Hurt as the War Doctor. His look tells a story all its own.
Definitely. He may say he's not the Doctor anymore, but his clothes tell a different story.
Like those combat boots, right?
Exactly. Those boots, that bandolier. They're visual shorthand for the Time War's toll on him.
Especially compared to the other Doctor's footwear. Much more practical, these.
A deliberate choice. It sets him apart. You can practically feel the weight of his experiences in those boots. And speaking of details with meaning, that proverb on the 15th Doctor's sonic screwdriver.
Oh, yeah. The Rwandan one.
It's not just a cool inscription, it perfectly reflects his character. The sharpness of the tongue defeats the sharpness of the warrior.
Classic Doctor, really.
Exactly. Wit over weapons, like in The Lodger. Remember how he talks those aliens down?
Yeah.
Pure ingenuity.
Way better than a sonic cannon.
Oh.
Speaking of tense situations, those planes in The Magician's Apprentice, frozen in midair, still gives me chills.
Oh, absolutely.
And they use real footage for that.
Yeah.
Even creepier.
It's a brilliant example of the show blending fantasy and reality. Those are real places.
Really?
Mara Beach, Hong Kong's Kai Tak Airport. They take something familiar, travel, and twist it into something unsettling. It reminds me of another detail, one that's hidden in plain sight. In The Day of the Doctor. Did you catch that Cyberman cameo?
No. Where?
In the painting, the Raft of the Medusa.
Oh, right.
A powerful image on its own. Shipwreck. Desperation. But in the world of Doctor Who, they've added Cybermen to the lifeboat.
Whoa. It's like a warning that the Cybermen are always lurking, even in chaos.
Exactly, a constant threat.
Okay, this one always makes me smile. The London Credit Bank. Apparently, it's the 8 bank in the Whoniverse. Who knew?
Right. They pop up everywhere, starting way back with the Runaway Bride.
It's like a running gag. Universal banking at its finest. You think they offer sonic screwdriver loans?
Uh-huh. Now that's a thought. Doctor Who, the fiscal years. But seriously, it's those little touches that make the Whoniverse feel real.
Speaking of real, let's talk about the Brigadier. Even as a Cyberman, they snuck in a nod to his rank.
Ah, yes. In Death in Heaven. Most Cybermen have those plain black handles, but the Cyberbrig and a few other cyber leaders, black cornering on the handles.
Those little details.
It sets him apart. Even as a Cyberman, he's still a leader. And of course, he breaks free to save the day. What a legend.
Talk about going above and beyond. Now, get ready for this one. It's a bling and you'll miss it moment. The 8th Doctor in the name of the Doctor. Did you catch him?
Oh, that cameo. A split second as Claire is being splintered through time. Paul McGann, right there.
So easy to miss. I bet the editors had fun with that. What do you think the 8th Doctor was doing there with the 2nd Doctor? Secret mission.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll tell that story one day.
One can hope. From a quick cameo to a lingering message, let's talk about Heaven Sent. Remember that writing on the wall?
Oh, in the castle.
Yeah. At first, it just looks like, someone forgot to paint over something.
But it's not random at all. It's the 12th Doctor's own words. That speech about death right there on the walls.
It's like the castle is mocking him.
It's a visual representation of his mental state. trapped, haunted by his own words.
It adds another layer to an already intense episode.
For sure. And it reminds us, in Doctor Who, nothing is as it seems.
It makes you wonder, what other secrets are hiding in plain sight? This deep dive has been amazing. I feel like I need to rewatch everything.
That's the joy of Doctor Who. Every episode is a potential treasure hunt.
You've given me a lot to think about.
My pleasure.
From set design to costumes, it's incredible how much care goes into every little thing.
Absolutely. It's what makes the show so special. And it sparks endless debate among fans.
Speaking of, this has got me thinking. What about those details that seem insignificant? Like, why did the TARDIS disguise itself as a giant tomato that one time? There's got to be more to it, right?
You never know at Doctor Who. The show's like the TARDIS itself, full of surprises and bigger on the inside.
So true. Well, I'm off to rewatch every Doctor Who episode with a whole new perspective.
Me too. You never know what you might find.
Thanks for the deep dive. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled and your sonic screwdrivers handy.
Yeah.
You never know what you might uncover.
Happy viewing. So many layers to uncover, right? It's like they're dropping clues across time and space.
Speaking of clues, what about those recurring elements in Doctor Who? Like little winks from the writer saying, hey, remember this?
Oh, absolutely. And they're not just random. They're woven into the fabric of the show, like that London credit bank.
Right. It's a bank. Why does it matter so much? And yet, there it is.
Exactly. It's like, even with aliens and time travel, some things never change. Taxes, mortgages.
The mundane realities of life, even in the Hunterverse.
But it's more than that. It builds a sense of continuity, realism, in this fantastical world.
It's like they have a whole financial system built around this bank. Branches on other planets, you think. Maybe the Doctor's got a TARDIS loan.
Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Fiscal years. But those little touches add so much depth to the Whovians.
Speaking of depth, the Brigadier. Even as a Cyberman, they found a way to honor his military past.
Oh, absolutely.
Those details on his Cyberman head handles.
Right. Most are just plain black. But the Cyberbrig, those handles have black cornering. Sets him apart.
Even as a Cyberman, he's still a leader.
Exactly. His character shines through. And let's not forget, he breaks free of the programming. Saves the day. What a guy.
And that cameo appearance by the 8th Doctor in the name of the Doctor. So quick.
A blink and you'll miss it moment for sure. Paul McGann right there with the 2nd Doctor.
What were they up to? Secret mission.
Who knows? Maybe one day we'll get that story.
Fingers crossed. Okay, from a quick cameo to a chilling location. That castle in Heaven Sent. Talk about atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely. Heaven sent. Grief, loss, responsibility, every detail adds to the mood.
Like that writing on the wall. It looks like someone forgot to paint over something.
But it's not random at all. It's the 12th Doctor's own words. That monologue about death, scrawled on the walls.
Like the castle itself is mocking him.
A visual reminder of his mental state. And a classic example of how Doctor Who uses subtle details to create a mood.
Speaking of subtle, remember that sonic trowel in the Husbands of River song?
Oh, classic River.
Ridiculous and brilliant. And it connects back to the 11th hour. Remember the Doctor joking about needing a sonic trowel?
It's those little callbacks. They make rewatching so fun.
Everything's connected. Speaking of connections, what about those fob watches?
Ah, yes. The Time Lord fob watch, a classic. A symbol of their mastery of time.
And each Doctor wears it differently. The War Doctor's is rugged. The 11th is more quirky.
It's a small detail, but it makes each Doctor unique.
Tradition and change. Just like the sonic sunglasses.
Oh, those were a bold choice.
Fans were divided. Love 'em or hate 'em. Those sunglasses were different.
But they worked. The Doctor could interact with technology in a whole new way.
Always the improviser. Our Doctor. Okay, what other secrets are we hiding up our sleeves?
We've only just begun. Have you noticed how the companions often reflect the Doctor? Like their personalities, their struggles?
Really? I never thought about that. Tell me more.
Well, Sarah Jane Smith, she was all about the truth. A journalist, just like the Doctor, and she challenged him to be more compassionate.
And Rose Tyler. She brought back his sense of wonder after the Time War.
Exactly. Each companion helps the Doctor see things differently. The universe. Themselves.
They're not just along for the ride, they're part of his journey.
I like that.
It's how the Doctor learns and grows.
It really makes you appreciate the writers. You know, those connections run deep.
It shows how well they understand character. It's not just about plot. It's about how relationships shape the Doctor.
It's like this big, complicated puzzle, and every piece fits. Characters, objects, everything has a reason for being there. And the more you look, the more you find. New patterns, new connections.
That's what makes Doctor Who so great. You can watch an episode a dozen times and still find something new.
Exactly. It makes you think, makes you ask questions. There's always more to uncover.
Speaking of uncovering, one more detail before we wrap up. It's about the Doctor's legacy. Regeneration.
Ah, yes. Regeneration. The ultimate do-over.
Right. Cheating death, but also changing, becoming someone new.
But not entirely new. It's the same Doctor deep down.
Exactly. It's like the writers are saying change is inevitable, but some things never change.
Hope and resilience. No matter what happens, the Doctor always finds a way to carry on.
A fresh start, but with the same core values. Compassion, wonder, believing in good. And that resonates even outside of Doctor Who.
It's about the human spirit, really. Our ability to change and grow, but also stay true to ourselves, even when things are tough.
Well said. That's what makes Doctor Who more than just a TV show. It's an experience. It makes you think about big ideas.
It reminds us there's always more to discover.
So to everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the hidden world of Doctor Who.
It's been a pleasure.
And remember, the next time you rewatch an episode, keep your eyes open. You never know what you might find.
Happy viewing!